I guess it's that time of year again. We are coming to exam season, and I thought I haven't done this for a number of years, so maybe it's about time I actually did something. Um, Coming to the 2024 past paper, I've read through some of the stuff. Haven't gone through all of it yet, but I guess a big part of the exam and actually approaching the exam is something that shows you that they do tell you what to do a lot of the time. I think a good start is you do need to read through your outline of what's actually happening. I think one of the big things, let me actually open up this. So one of the things that we need to pay attention for is so the number of likes and dislikes are stored. Some musicians have stage names. Okay, South African Records need to create a list of easy listening songs that are suitable for playing on any radio station. Okay, like this is going to be used. Yes, an easy listening song is any song that has more than 5,000 likes, more. Sorry, 5,000 likes more than dislikes. So we just have to make sure that so So for it to be easily listening, it needs to have um, likes minus dislikes is greater than 5,000. I think that's one of the things we need to make sure we've taken from here. These genres, I looked at the text file. A good way to actually start is to open the text file, see what's actually in it, see what type of data they actually provide you with. So if we look at this here, so these look like they are specifying the different genres, where these are written as enums. Well, actually, as the static final variables, so not actually enums, but can be mapped to something like an enum. So something like that. So we see maybe the first few lines, but you've got to be able to get something like this to work across multiple. Let's say the system was something like this, where they have the musicians in separate places as what's in the the musicians are separate places as what's actually in the data, because they can mix and match, but we can see there is a variation of pattern. So I think before you start, make sure you have a look at the text file, have a look at what's actually been provided, and once you have what's been provided, I think the stuff that comes next is, I think, fairly straightforward. I think previously I did question 2 and 3 in separate videos. I think I'm going to try get both of these out in one. See if I can. So if we start off on question 2, so you use the class diagram below. So maybe someone's asked before about encapsulation. Do we use encapsulation? What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is basically, in simple terms, for better understanding, would be having your private variables be separated or segregated from being accessed from outside of the class. So if something like private string artist name is defined, you can't actually access that from maybe your account manager class, where for the only way to get access is through the accessor, i.e. like the getter. So artist name, get artist name would be something like that. Like things you might want in the future, you might want to hide some of these things and keep some of those things publicly accessible, but also keep some of them where you can't actually change the state of the program outside of the class. So if we start off on the first one, so create a new class named song with the artist name, title, likes and dislikes fields as shown in the class diagram. these fields must not be accessible outside the class. So accessible outside the class, encapsulation, think of it in that kind of way. You wanting to protect it. So let's create our songs class. So let's create a new Java class. This thing's called song or songs. Song. Let's create that. So we want our fields are all these private ones. So private artist name, title, likes, and dislikes. Private, and they are all 2 are strings, 2 are integers. So artist name, we want, and this is title, and we want likes, and we want, okay, so there we go, 3 easy, simple marks. I wonder how they're going to mark that. What if you get one of them wrong? I don't know. So write code to create a parameterized instructor. So when you see this, the main word is constructor, and we don't want a default constructor that just spawns the object with no variables or doesn't set any uniqueness to the objects. So we want to parameterize this constructor. So say public song, and we want our string, we're going to create in our artist name, and string, we want our title, and int, we want our likes, and int, we want our dislikes. You can make this something different. Something that I like to do is to keep the names the same. You can have a name, T, or something like that, but I think I prefer this. That's also where this comes into play. So you can say this dot artist name. So this references the current class you're in and the current object you are, and dot artist name would be referencing that private variable, is equal to our artist name, and left out a T. So let's just take this, paste it in 4 times, so we can just adjust it. So here we want our title. We want our likes, and our dislikes. Okay, now, so there we go, 6 out of 100, 6% of the way done. So create accessor methods for the artist name, title, and likes field. Does that include dislikes, or do we just want likes? It tells us likes, so I'm just going to do likes. So let's do that. So here we have our accessors. So public string get artist name. And we just want to return the artist name, so do the same again. Get title. And next one is an integer, and we want to get our likes. You don't have to do list.likes, you can do something just like that. I think this is just best practice. Better to keep your references separate, just in case things are named the same. You want to be referencing on a class level, you don't want to be referencing on a method level. Okay, another 2 marks in the bag. Next one, a song is well liked if the number of likes is greater than the number of dislikes. Code a method called get well liked. This method should return whether the song is well liked or not. So this takes us back to our original reading, is that our likes minus dislikes must be greater than 5,000 to say if it is well liked or not. And we want to have that as a boolean, because we can see here they want a boolean, and they want a lowercase boolean, not with an uppercase. An uppercase, or maybe, but if we play it safe, you want it to be the lowercase boolean. So now we can have get well liked status, and we want to have turn if likes minus dislikes is greater than 5,000. You can do something where you say if likes minus dislikes greater than 5,000. You can do something along this line where you can say return true if it makes it easier for you to understand. But because we are doing a conditional statement here, if likes minus dislikes is less than 5,000, and let me make 100% sure on that wording, to make sure that it is more and not more and equal to. That is over here, that is a musician likes and more likes. When it has more than, okay, so that means we are not equating those values there. Cool. Now we have all our accesses set up, and I assume we're doing our toString method. And in our toString method, will return a string that combines the values of title, likes, and dislike fields in the songs class. Format of the string should be as follows: title tab, likes tab, dislikes. Really? Okay. Cool. So we can just do string, public string, sorry, to string, and we return string title tab likes tab dislikes. So we can do something like return, and we can start by doing title plus, and we want to have a tab, so our character case, our escape character, sorry, our likes, and we want to have our dislikes. Okay, and what are you complaining about? It's because you want to override the function because objects come with a built-in toString. Then, next up, so that's 13% or of part 2 completed. And question 3, may as well include it here. Doing the exact same thing, maybe not exactly the same, but very similar thing. We need to create our new class called musician. This class will be used to store the details of a musician and the genre of their music. Musician fields. So we have private for our name, stage name, genre, and start date, or start, which is a date. And then we have our constructor, and we have get name, get start, get genre, get genre. Ah, this is interesting. Oh, sorry, no, that's set genre. Never mind, I just can't read. Okay. New class name musician with name, stage name, and genre fields shown as in the class diagram. So let's do that. So we can do a new one. This one is called musician. Make sure I spelled it correctly. Yes, I did. And we need to take these. So let's copy these over. Let's do. And I left out the fields. So there we go. So now we have our name, which is a string, genre, which is an integer, and our start date. So where is it? So we can start off by doing our private string name, private string stage name, private int, and this is our genre. Then our private date start. Let me actually see, do I just have to import the date util. And then next we have, what does it say? Class constants, so that we can have rock. I don't know what any of these are, except for rock and techno. I'm up here, no, actually I've seen that one before. So we want to have our public static final, and they are integers, as seen here. Int, we want rock equal 1, and we want to do the same. And why did it mess up my formatting? And I have forgotten what the formatting. There we go. And the formatting is Alt, Shift, and F. And if you try hard enough, you can get there at all times. Or you just trial and error. So QCOM. If someone can please tell me what GCOM is, GCOM, that would be great. I'd highly appreciate that. I want to copy. As well make 4 and do 3, 4. This is Amapiano, and this one is Techno. Then we go to a parameterized constructor. So same as we did before, parameterized constructor is just a constructor where you specify. You can only create the object if the parameters specified have been provided. So if you give something, if you try call, like, so if I try call song in this case, song st, to new song, if I try call it like that, you'll see it will complain because we require a string int. So that's maybe just an explanation on that. Musician. And we need to have some values of name, genre, and start fields, the class, stage name as follows. If the in stage parameter is empty, is an empty string, then assign in name. They want it to be as in names and stuff. Sorry, I was mistaken on the song one, but use what's specified here. I'll do that now. Let me do this to make life a little bit easier, where we can do something like this, and let's separate them into separate lines here. Okay, so we have string in name, string in stage, int in genre, and a date in start. Let's just do this. name to in name stage name is equal to in stage, and genre in genre. Right, right. And then the last one is the start. Okay, so now we have our constructor set up, then we can see what else we have to do. So if in stage parameter is empty, then assign in name to the stage name. So before we set stage name, we can say if in stage, let's just say if it is equal to, I guess we can actually do string equals to empty. Then we want to set stage name is equal to, let's actually say if it is not empty, no, I don't want to do it like that. That would be too freaky and not a good practice. So this is stage name. If it is empty, then it is equal to the stage name. Let me actually just do what they say in name. Then else we have what we had here. Then what's next? Otherwise, assign stage name parameter to stage name field. So if it's an empty string, let's assign in name to okay. Accessor methods for name and start fields. So just like we've seen here, name and start fields. Let's do that here. So now we do not and public string, we're going to do first on name, get name, then next one is date star get start, that's the start, and then after that that's all we want. Okay, code a get genre method to return a string representing the genre of musician. This method must return rock if genre is rock, qcom if genre is qcom. Okay, so now we can do what's it called? Get genre, and this is a string. String get genre, and then we can do so if the start genre is equal to rock, turn rock, else if the start genre is equal to what are the ones we have, gqom, yebo. Else if I want to find a better way that I can do this. There most probably is a much better way that I can do this, but this way does work. Let's do piano, and let's actually copy that. And else if genre, haven't done techno. Returning techno. I guess we can convert to a switch statement. And what are you complaining about? Convert rule switch. Ah, that's pretty interesting. Default is what is it? Uncategorized. Must it be a lowercase? Anything else? Uncategorized. Then return as well. And because we're doing returns, we don't have to do any breaks. So that's good. Then we need to do next part, code set genre method as shown in the class diagram to assign a genre, the genre of the musician. So we can do something. I was still in the get genre, so public void, because we are using a setter. View data, which is a setter. Then we have set genre, and we want to take in an int genre. Is that what we want? We want a in genre. Okay. I'm interested to see where we use this. So code a set genre method as shown in class diagram to assign the genre of the musician. So I just go I will double check this and come back to it. I'm not 100% sure. So that's what I believe that they're asking us to do here. But let's finish off this question. So now we have our toString for the object, and we want to return stage name, genre, and start field separated by tabs. Why do they like the tabs? So we have our public toString, and we want to return our stage name. Oh, back's a bit stiff. Comes stage, I swear. Genre. Actually, keep it consistent. Genre plus a tab plus we need our start, so we can do our start, but we want it as a string. So because we are referencing a date object, we want to reference the date as a string. There will be, I guess when we get to the next video in this series for the 2024 paper, I'll go over the parsing of this date or converting the date for when we get there, and we're in the manager class. But I think these are the easier ones. Let me actually just refactor these. I think, can I just do an F6? Can I do an F2? Can I just do a rename? A refactor and a rename, Control R. So this is in our just name, I believe. N-A-R-A-N. N-A-N. Yeah, N-A-N. So refactor that. And this is Control R. And this is in title. If I'm not mistaken. In title, in L for likes, and in B for dislikes. So you can just do so in L and in D. Okay, so I think this wraps up our first two questions, or after skipping over the SQL stuff. It wraps up the first two questions where we are setting up our objects. If there are any questions, just post them in the comments. I think I usually do reply. And if you have gotten this far, well done. I think the question 1 and 2 don't often, I think people usually opt to go straight for question 4. So I'll try to get to that tonight again, and yeah, and then be able to provide some, I guess, some easier explanation, different perspective than what you normally get from just your teacher or from other friends, from someone that works in the field and does this as their day job, I guess you could say. All right, but see you in the next one.